there's been a lot of conversation for like, I'd say the past 6 months or 1 year or so. And it's been about how these mod websites, they're playing this like editor role where they constantly focus on trying to moderate which mods are acceptable and which mods are not acceptable. And this has been like a really big problem, in my opinion, because these moderation websites have kind of arbitrary rules. Nexus Mods is the worst offender. So I'll explain what this is here. So Nexus Mods banned a harmless mod that deleted the modern audience triggering message in Tomb Raider 1 to 3 Remaster. Keep in mind that no Latin American really cared about this message or the game depiction. It was all in a virtual setting. So I'm going to go ahead and look at it. And remove misinformative warning. And this game is a collection of offensive depictions of people and cultures rooted in racial and ethnic prejudices. These stereotypes are deeply harmful and inexcusable and do not align with our values at Crystal Dynamics. Rather than removing this content, we've chosen to present it here in its original form, unaltered, in the hopes that we may acknowledge its harmful impact and learn from it. So basically, somebody installed a mod in order to remove this, and Nexus Mods removed that mod. This is what I think. I think that a lot of the characters in Genshin Impact look like teenagers. And I think the majority of them look like teenagers that are underage, too. Like a 15-year-old. I think a lot of them do. It's pretty common. So whenever I see somebody removing a mod, like a what do you call it? Like a message for like a trigger warning, basically. What that does is that creates kind of like that's like a line, right? Like that clearly, that's what's over the line for them. So what they're saying then is that it's okay to portray characters that look like minors in ways that are sexual, but it's not okay to have this. I think that's a problem. I do. I really think that's weird. Nexus Mods don't do that. Oh, of course they do. Absolutely they do. What are you talking about? Isn't Nexus Mods the same mods for Final Fantasy to be NSFW? Oh yeah, Nexus Mods does block nude mods for Hogwarts Legacy because of the age thing. Oh sure, but they have other things that allow people to sexualize minor characters. Which, I'm sorry, it's like, I think that's pretty fucking weird. I do. And a lot of these modding websites, because that's one of the biggest reasons why people download mods, is that they're picking and choosing as to whether, like, what they think is okay and what they think isn't okay. I think this is incredibly fucking annoying to me, that these mod websites are trying to pick and choose and decide which things meet their expectations. And I think they're stupid for making the decision. I think they're making the wrong decisions. Now, they clearly can do whatever they want to do. I'm not debating whether they can do it or not. Of course they can do it. But I can also have an opinion on what they're doing. Would you say they allow all mods? Would I say to allow all mods? I think that you should allow all mods except for the ones that sexualize minor characters. I do. I do draw the line there. I'm going to be honest. I do. And I know some people might be unhappy about that. But that's the line. Racist mods? People can be racist all they want. Do you think that racism is on the same level as sexualizing minors? Because I don't think it is. I don't even think it's remotely close. I can't imagine thinking that it is. They don't allow nude mods for minors, though? Well, it's sexualizing the character, right? I mean, like, I'm talking about sexualizing the character is just because it's not a nude mod doesn't mean that it's not sexualizing the character. It's just, like, what are we talking about here? It's 60-40. They definitely, yeah, I mean, come on, guys. I get it. It's like, this is also, I want to make sure this is very clear, that this is not an actual opinion that people have, and this isn't a distinction that people really have in real life. If somebody was asking a 12-year-old girl to dress like this in real life, you would want them put in jail, right? I mean, like, if they were asking your daughter to dress like this, you would want them put in jail. So anybody saying that this not that big of a deal, if you actually apply this logic to real life, it immediately falls apart. This is internet logic. It's not real. Because in real life, everybody knows this is fucking creepy, weird, and disgusting. But for some reason, people like to pretend and act stupid whenever it's not like that on here. And so they did remove this. They said that the mod violated our rules on indecent content because the character is known to be a minor. See specific rule in red. In the author's own words, this mod changes Yuki's body to make her more corpulent. Yeah, and so I do generally agree with this. I think this is the right call to make. They did make the kid waifus. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but I think it's a bit much. It's fucking crazy that people have to be told this in the gaming community. Yukari is a minor. I have no idea if it is or not. It's their site, their rules. So it's okay to post Coomer anime pics of schoolgirls on your Reddit, but you're against Coomer anime mods on the other websites. I think that there's a very big difference between portraying somebody. Like, if you don't understand the difference between an anime character that looks like an adult and an anime character that looks like a 12-year-old, that's not my problem. And stop trying to make it my problem. Every functioning normal adult in this chat knows exactly where the difference is. And nobody has trouble here, right? That has, like, figuring out where the two things are, right? We all get the difference, and you can see very clearly where the difference is. Yes. Let's be clear and stop assuming everybody understands your perspective. Do you guys understand exactly what I'm talking about? Let me ask you. Do you understand exactly what I'm talking about? Everybody understands it. Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. So we all understand what's going on here. There's only a few mentally ill people that are trying to play the intellectually dishonest game of, pretending like this isn't the case. As if teens in real life can't have well-endowed chests? Oh, sure, right? I mean, like, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that you want to, like... And this is again, where the internet logic goes away. And I'm going to explain exactly how it goes away. If you had a daughter that was like that, and she was 15, and a grown man said that to her, what would you do? Would that make you comfortable? Or would that make you want to call the police? So, again, this is internet ethics and internet morality that whenever you apply it to real life, immediately falls apart. Because nobody really believes these arguments. They just make them because they like talking and they like justifying bad behavior. And that's okay. If you want to behave badly or do this stuff, it's not illegal. But at the same time, don't expect everybody else to think that it's, conforming with normal values. It's not normal. How the heck are people arguing for the alternative? They're arguing for the alternative because they've spent their entire life on the internet and they forgot what it's like to be in the real world. You don't have to defend your weird-ass fantasies because everyone has weird-ass fantasies. Just don't bring them into real life. Yeah, well, don't try to justify them. I think that's really what the difference is. The argument for it is the images aren't of a real person, but it's still bad because it stimulated interest in things that aren't healthy. I don't understand why people use that argument. Like, obviously, I mean, should somebody go to jail for, like, having a mod like this for underage characters? Like, I don't know. Like, probably not. But, like... It's just, like, isn't there, like, a gray area where everybody can say this is really fucked up and weird and just acknowledge it without saying this person needs to go to jail? Like, maybe they don't have to go to jail, but it's clearly fucked up and weird. And about the mod that allows you to kill children in Skyrim? I mean, do we really have to just be honest here and say that killing things is a lot different than sexualizing them? Especially whenever it's regarding kids? Like, have you lived in... Do you exist in society? If you don't understand that nuance of our society, then you need to get off the computer. Because I think any normal person knows what the difference there is. These are the same people that are just okay accepting that they're fucked up and weird, which isn't okay. Well, no, I mean, people are always going to be fucked up and weird. It's totally fine if you want to be fucked up and weird. Just don't go and get me to try to accept it and tell you that you're a good person for it, right? That's what the difference is. Nexus mod is good for banning these mods then. I think that Nexus mods should not be... I don't think that they should be drawing lines on mods in terms of their political viewpoints. I don't think that this is a good idea, and I think it calls into question all of the other mods that are on their websites, and it goes to kind of like, because it creates a point of reference of them saying this isn't okay, but then obviously whenever you say one thing isn't okay, then people are clearly going to ask about all of the other things that are problematic and say, well, then why is this okay? And that's my point that I'm making. It's a failure of culture and mental health services. Yeah, I think it is. Mods that skip text and intro screens are super common now. It's ridiculous. Yeah, no doubt. Normies in society think anime is borderline creepy. Well, one of the reasons why they think it's borderline creepy is that it has people in the community that are like some of the individuals in chat that are trying to defend it. Defend this weird stuff. Would peer review banned or banned on user report ban be banned by the website owner? Well, I think that really it should just be... I think that they should let people do mods on whatever they want. Really. I mean, I think that's the smart thing to do. The only thing I think that they should not allow is like mods that sexualize minors. That's literally the only thing that they should disallow. And like, I don't know, maybe there's one other thing that I'm not thinking of. But everything else, they should just let people do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah, fair take. It's even weirder. Anime haters are just hating to hate. Well, I mean, I think that that's just people that have a different viewpoint on it. And also, like, there are... I'm going to be real here. I think that there are a lot of anime, like, fans that run defense for sexualizations of characters that they shouldn't be running defense for. I think that that stuff is really weird. And just because you like anime, it doesn't mean that you have to defend that kind of anime. Like, you can enjoy anime. Like, I think anime is great. But I also think that some of it is really weird. And there's even animes that I've watched that have had that in it. And I might have enjoyed the anime despite that. But that doesn't mean that, like, if somebody calls that out, I'm going to say, oh, yeah, this is a good thing. Huh? Well, I'll give you an example. Like, so I watched the Cyberpunk anime, and they had that little character, that Rebecca Lolly character that gave the guy a blowjob. She looks like she's 8 or 7 years old. That's weird. Like, I wish the story didn't have that. The story would have been better without having that. It's an anime. Yeah, it is. She's just small. She looks like a little kid. Yes, she does. She looks like a little kid. I'm sorry, guys, but I mean, she does. And if guys, I don't want to go and argue about this one character, okay? Like, I'm not going to go back and forth about this. If you don't think that she does, that's fine. We can use 50 other examples that are worse, right? So, but I'm just giving you an example of something that I saw in the show that I'm making an example of. This is like, it's a line that I have. Obviously, every line is kind of the same, or is going to be different for everybody, but, isn't the same. The point of it was to make her look like a little kid because lots of weirdos get off on that shit. And that's really what the problem is. And I think that more people that are fans of anime should probably stop trying to defend this kind of stuff. Because I think that's really what's going on here. Is that I think that they're clearly doing it on purpose. I do. I think it is that simple. Japan historically has a big problem with minors being sexualized. Japan's sick for a lot of stuff. I don't think that's a problem with Japan. I think that if you go, I would say far enough back, but you really don't have to go very far back. You would see that this has been a problem for a lot of places in the world, including America. Like, this is a problem everywhere. I don't think Japan has a monopoly on that. Fuck, like, everywhere does this shit. Like, Africa does this. I mean, I remember even my mom, like, she said that growing up, and this is in, like, growing up in the deep South Florida, people around in, like, where she lived had a saying, get her young and raise her up right. About getting a wife. Yeah. So no, Japan doesn't have a monopoly on this. Howard Stern did a countdown timer on like when the Olsen twins were going to turn 18. And that was like, what, 15 years ago? Something like that? That's what I'm saying.